One is learn English phrases, not individual words. This one, just like on the other, is very simple, very easy, and like the other, this rule is very, very powerful. So simple, so powerful. What is the rule? The rule is always learn phrases, not individual words. So simple. So phrase is a group word. It's not you can have a whole sentence, but it's even a part of a sentence. So for example, let's say you have the word hate, H-I-T-E, hate, and then you will find in your dictionary the meaning, and then you memorize hate. That's the old way. That's the kind of typical way, the school way, right? In school, you probably remember a lot of individual words. You had the big vocabulary list. You try to memorize all of them. Try to remember all the individual single words. It's not a good way to learn. Much better if you learn a phrase, a group of words, and where do you find the phrase? You find the phrase in a real English podcast that you are listening to in real English storybooks that you are reading. So you don't memorize a list in a book. No, no, no. You listen to real English, and when you hear a new word, you write it down. Or when you are reading a storybook and you see a new word, you write it down. But do not just write down that word. You want to write down the whole phrase or sentence that is in all of it. So instead of saying hate and you just write down hate, you would say you would write down John hates ice cream. You write down the whole phrase. Why do we do this? What's the power of phrase? Well, phrase give a lot of information, much more information. Number number one, phrases are easier to remember because they have meaning. They have a kind of a picture, a story, especially when you get them from something that you are reading or listening to. You remember it. John has ice cream. You remember the whole story. You remember who John is. You remember that he has ice cream and then you remember he had this. He didn't like it. Right. So you have on the extra bit of information. On the extra information helps you remember the meaning of the phrase and the meaning of that word. So it help your memory much easier, much easier to remember. Number two, there are bonus. When you learn phrase, you are learning grammar also. You are not only learning an individual word, you are learning grammar. You are learning how to use that word correctly. You don't need to think about any grammar. You don't need to follow rules. It's automatic. This another way that native speakers learn English grammar because when we are children, we learn with phrases, we learn group of words, not just one word by one word by one word. Word by one word is no and it doesn't help, and you don't learn any grammar. But when you learn a whole phrase, you write down a phrase, you're getting extra information. Maybe you don't know it, but you are. For example, John has eye cream. Just that word, that S on the end. Has, right. John has. Well, you know from grammar story, you are making a subject and the verb early. You don't need to think about that. Just write down the phrase. John has a cream and studies and reviews. Always learn phrase, not just that word. And so in the future, whenever you say, he has a cream, she has a cream, you will add that, you will add that as the S, right? Because that's how you learn this. You learn this correctly. You learn this from a phrase. On the other hand, if you learn it from a textbook, you just learn the word head means the not night, and you only learn that from head, and you memorize. That's when you start making mistakes because you learn it only this one way. You didn't learn it with other words. So sometimes you say he had a cream. You forget the S because you never learned it correctly in a sentence in phrase. So there is some so this is very simple natural is in the class. Very important every time you you find the new word. Always write the phrase or sentence when you review that work again, when you study it again. Always study the entire phrase or sentence. Never study just work. Always the whole phrase. Do this every time. Your grammar will begin to improve. It's improve much faster, and you will remember the vocabulary faster and more easily, and you will use that vocabulary more quickly. So get another great benefit, another great stuff happens when you learn phrase instead of words. So phrase, phrase, learn them.